Charging a capacitor. How to charge a capacitor? Now if you take a capacitor here, this is a capacitor of capacitance is C, which is to be charged by a battery. Now I am going to connect this directly to a battery of EMF E. If I connect this to a source of EMF, that is EMF is E here, we cannot charge a capacitor directly by connecting to a battery. Why? Because whenever it is connected like this, the potential difference between these two is V. Potential difference between these two should become V here. So a current will enter into this circuit, or a charge will enter into the capacitor. So this current, as it is no control, that means this charge should be controlled by a resistor. That means we need to charge this capacitor with the help of a resistor here. That means there must be some control to charge this capacitor. Suppose if there is no control here, if there is no resistor in this circuit, if it is directly connected to a capacitor, now the inrush current, whatever the current that is flowing here, we call it as a inrush current. So that means very high current will enter into the capacitor and it can damage the capacitor. The inrush current will damage the capacitor. Due to this, even the circuit elements will be damaged here, or even if you are using a fuse here, the fuse will be blown off. That's why whenever we are charging a capacitor, we should not connect that capacitor directly to a battery. To control the flow of current, to control this inrush current or maximum current, we need to connect one resistor in series to this capacitor. That's why these are known as CR circuits. These are not capacitors directly. Previously in the capacitor topic, in the electrostatics, we did not discuss about the resistor there. Why? Because there we studied only about the charging capacitor without resistor. But in general, we will use a resistor. So I am going to use one resistor here. So this is the resistor that I am going to use in series with the capacitor. So this is the resistor here. Now this is the circuit. Now whatever the current, that inrush current is flowing to this one, will be stopped by this resistor. It will allow the flow of current in a controlled manner, and then this capacitor can be charged easily. Now in this, whenever we are charging a capacitor with the help of a source, now what we can write? Let us say this, there is a small key here. This is the key that we are using here. When the key is closed, so then charging takes place, charging starts in the capacitor. Now when t is equal to 0 initially, that means when the key is just closed, when key K is just closed, then the charging starts, charging takes place inside the capacitor. So what is the potential drop across this resistor? What is the potential drop between the two capacitor? The sum of the potential drop across resistor and capacitor must be equal to the EMF. As there is no interresistance, I am not showing the interresistance here. So I am going to write, if you apply Kirchhoff voltage law here, by applying Kirchhoff voltage law for this closed path, we can write I into R is the potential drop across the resistor plus the potential drop across the capacitor, that is Q by C. We know that C is equal to Q by V or V is equal to Q by C. This must be equal to the EMF of this cell. Now you can rearrange this equation. IR plus Q by C can be written as E minus Q by C. But what is this I? The amount of current passing through the circuit, which is the rate of charge flowing through this the circuit. So I can written as dq by dt is the rate of flow of charge through the circuit into R is equal EC minus Q by C. Now you can rearrange this one as, bring all the dq terms here, charge terms. This is a dq. Here we have charge, so you can write EC minus Q is equal, you bring this one this side, dt by this is C as it is, this R will come down. So this is the equation. Now to find out the charge that is passing through the circuit at any time, So I need to find out the charge. We have dq here. Integrate this one on both sides. So I am integrating this one. When the time is 0, here the differential element is time. So when the time is 0, the charge in the capacitor is 0, because when t is 0, when the key is just closed, the capacitor was not charged there. So charge is 0. When the time is t, let us say charge is equal to q. Now we can write at a time, let us say the charge is equal to q naught. Now from this what we can write, integral dq by ec minus q can be written as log of ec minus q by ec. Actually, if you know this one, log of this one is ec minus, means log, if you differentiate this one, log ec minus q is equal to 1 by ec minus q, and ec constant minus q is minus 1. So you have to write minus ec here. This is equal to t by cr, integral dt is t, and if you substitute this values t, this one. So here charges are 0 and q. Let me take q only. Now here this can be written as minus of log ec minus q by ec is equal t by cr after substituting that t 0. Now this will become log of ec minus q by ec is equal to minus t by cr. If you take anti-log on both sides, you will get ec minus q by ec is equal e power minus t by cr. Now you can write ec by ec is equal to 1 minus q by ec is equal 1 e minus t by cr. Now you can bring this one this side, you can bring this one this side. This will become 1 minus e power minus t by cr is equal q by ec. Now I want to find out the charge. So the charge q is equal to ec into this. So the amount of charge that is passing through this capacitor when the key is closed at any time after a small interval of time. So charge on the capacitor at any time t is given by q is equal, this I am going to write by cross multiplication, ec into 1 minus e power minus t by cr. So this is the expression to find out the charge through this capacitor. Now what is this e into c? So we know that c is equal to q by v, but here v is e. So if you cross multiply this one, this will become ce, which is equal to q. This is the capacitance of the capacitor. This is the maximum potential that can be applied across the capacitor. That's why this is called the maximum charge that can be given to this capacitor. So we can write this now. The charge at any time is equal to the maximum charge that can be given to the capacitor, 1 minus e power minus t by cr. So this is the equation. So based on this equation, suppose if t is equal to 0, that means if the time is 0, what is the charge on this capacitor? So let me find out this one. If t is equal to 0, so what is the charge on the plates of capacitor? Q is equal q naught into 1 minus, this is e power 0. So e power 0 is equal to 1. So this will become q is equal to q naught into 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, 0. So when the time is 0, the charge on the capacitor is 0. Now, what happens if the time is equal to cr? You see this equation, q is equal to q naught 1 minus e power minus t by cr. If t is equal to cr, next step. If time is equal to product of resistance and capacitance of this, why? Because resistance may be 100 ohms, capacity may be 10 microfarad. If you multiply these two, you will get some time. So when time is equal to RC, remember students, this is called time constant of the CR circuit. The product of resistance of the circuit and capacitance of the circuit is called the time constant of the circuit. And this is denoted with the letter tau. So this we are using for torque. The same tau we are using here to represent the time constant of the CR circuit. Now here what is the charge when T is equal to CR? This will become Q naught into 1 minus e power T is equal to CR by CR. CR by CR is 1. So Q will become Q naught into 1 minus e power minus 1. So this can be written as Q naught into 1 minus 1 by E. E value we know 2.7. So you can write Q naught into 1 minus 2.7. This will become Q naught into 2.7 minus 1. 1.7 by 2.7. This is nearly equal to 63 Q naught. That means if the maximum charge that can be given to the capacitor is Q naught, 63% of the charge can be given in this time interval. So how to define the time constant of a circuit? The time constant of a CR circuit is defined as that time where 63% of the maximum charge can be given to this capacitor. Now one more point, if time is equal to infinity, let us say at infinite time, that means if the key is closed and for a long period of time if you wait, then what will be the charge on this capacitor? So now when t is equal to infinite, so q is equal to q naught into 1 power minus infinity by CR. So this will become e power minus some infinity by something is this will become q naught into 1 minus e power infinity will become 0. So q naught into 1 minus 0, this will become q naught. So capacitor cannot be charged directly. It takes a lot of time for this capacitor to be fully charged. Now based on these points, we can draw a graph by taking time along x-axis and the charge on the capacitor along y-axis. If you want to draw the graph between time and the charge in the capacitor, so this is the time and this is the charge. So when the time is 0, the charge on the capacitor is 0. That means when the key is just closed, it is not charged at all, just current is starting to flow. Now in this time, when the time is 0, the charge is also 0. So now let me take some times here, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this, and these are some charges here. So let us say this is the maximum charge that can be given to the capacitor. So the maximum charge, we are denoting this with Q naught. When t is equal to infinity, the charge will be Q naught, maximum charge will be Q naught. So in this case we can write this is the maximum charge that can be given to this one. I will represent this as a Q naught here. Now if you draw when time is equal to RC, let us say this is T is equal to RC here, product of resistance and capacitance of this one. So now when T is equal to RC, we can write this is one time constant, this is 2 RC, this is 3 RC, and like this up to infinite. So we have seen that this graph will be like this. So when T is equal to RC, the charge here is 63% of the maximum charge. 0.63 Q naught means 63% of the maximum charge that can be given to the capacitor. So let us say this is Q naught, this is 0.63 Q naught. Now for this, this will be more than this, and you can substitute that in place of T. If you write 2 RC, you get some value. So this will be the charge that is present on the capacitor at 2 time constants. This is for 1 time constant. For 3 time constants, charge will be slightly more. This you can see in case of a mobile phone also or laptop also. Initially when the mobile phone is connected to the socket with the help of that adapter charging wire, the charge increases rapidly initially. Here charge within small time increases rapidly. After the small intervals of time, charge increases slowly. So the charge that is produced or formed in the capacitor is exponential growth. This is called exponential curve. So when this charge will become in Q naught, so at infinite time these two are going to meet. So this is already we discussed here. When the time is infinite, the charge will become Q naught. So this is exponential growth. Now similarly, if you want to find out the current flowing through the circuit at different times, now first let me take if t is equal to 0, if t is equal to 0, how to find the current? The charge is equal to 0, but how to find the current? So while the charge is growing, growth of charge, this is given by Q is equal EC into 1 minus e power minus t by CR. Now if I want to find out the current, as the charge is increasing in the circuit, the current is given by dq by dt. So this is d by dt of EC into 1 minus e by CR. So the current is given by this EC into 1 is EC. So d by dt of EC minus EC into d by dt of EC into e power minus t by CR. E is the EMF of the cell which is constant, and C is the capacitance of capacitor which is constant. So current I is equal, this is a constant, derivative of a constant with respect to time will be 0 minus of this EC is constant, bring it outside. Now this will become derivative of e power minus x will become e power minus x only into the remaining value is minus 1 by CR. Already we have minus here, minus of minus will become plus. So current is given by EC into e power minus t by CR by CR. This is C and C get cancelled. This will become E by R, e power minus t by CR. So the current at time t is given by the current in flowing through the circuit is given by I is equal to, this is the maximum of my maximum resistance which is called maximum current in the resistor e power minus t by CR. This is the equation for current flowing through this circuit. Remember, charge is equal to Q is equal to Q naught e power minus TCR, but the corresponding current is equal to I is equal to I naught e power minus t by CR only. Now you substitute t is equal to 0 if you want to find out the current at time t. So I at 0 seconds is equal to I naught e power minus 0, e power minus 0 is 1. So I will become I naught. So when the current, when the charge through the circuit is 0, when t is equal to 0, charge is 0, but current is maximum. So current can be drawn like this. So now if you want to represent the current here in the same circuit, let us say this is I naught. The current is maximum. After that slowly it will decrease to the minimum value. So current will become 0 finally. Similarly, if you take t is equal to infinite, so what is the, first of all let me take t is equal to CR only, that is one time constant. In one time constant, the current will become I naught into e power minus CR by CR. CR by CR is 1. So this is I naught e power minus 1. That is I naught by 2.7. So I naught by 2.7 because e power minus 1 is 1 by e. So the current when t is equal to CR will become I naught by 2.7. So this will become 0.37 into I naught. This is the current equation. This current is equal to 0.37 of maximum current. So this is the value of this one. So this blue color line gives the current graph and the black color line will give the charge through this circuit, charge graph. Once the capacitor is completely charged, fully charged at an infinite time. So now if you open this key, then what happens? So this is the resistor, this is the capacitor which is completely charged with the charge Q naught, resistance R. So in this case, if the key is open here, the key is open. So now the capacitor will discharge. So during discharging of capacitor, so this is about charging of capacitor, charging a capacitor. During discharging of a capacitor, so we will see the potential drop across this one is equal to IR, and the potential across this one is equal to Q by C. This must be equal to 0. Why? Because now it is a open circuit. Write this I as dQ by dt into R plus Q by C is equal to 0. Now this can be written as dQ by dt into R is equal minus Q by C. You can write this R here. So minus Q by CR. Integrating on both sides you will get, because I cannot integrate this one, dQ by, let me bring this Q this side, dQ by Q is equal to minus of dt by CR. This is integral dQ by Q is log Q. So I am going to write, but here while discharging, already capacity is charged with a large maximum charge Q naught, and after some time the charge will, let me say, Q. So when time is equal to 0, the charge on this one is Q naught, because initially when we are opening this key, when key is open, when the key is open, capacitor is already fully charged. That's why when time is 0, capacitor charge on capacitor is Q naught. After some time the charge on this one, let us say Q. Now this is integral dQ by Q will be log Q with limits Q naught to Q, which is equal to minus T by CR. Now substitute these values. This is log final value Q by Q naught. Actually you should write log Q minus log Q naught, which can be written as log Q by Q naught, which is equal to minus T by CR. So now anti-log on both sides. Q by Q naught is equal to e power minus T by CR. Q is equal to Q naught e power minus T by CR. So this is the charge at any time on the capacitor in discharge. To find the charge during, current during discharging of capacitor, so I can be written as minus dQ by dt. Why? Because the charge is decreasing from Q naught to minimum value. So the charge is decreasing with the time. That's why I am writing this as minus dQ by dt. So I will become minus of d by dQ of Q is equal to Q naught e power minus T by CR. So I am going to write Q naught e power minus T by CR. So I will become Q naught is constant, bring it outside. Exponential minus T by CR will become e power minus T by CR into, this will become minus 1 by CR. Here already we have a minus, here a minus, plus will, this will become plus. This will become Q naught by CR e power minus T by CR. Q naught by C is the maximum voltage across this one by R. So this will become I is equal to I naught e power minus T by CR is the equation to find out the current. Now to draw the discharging curve, this is the charging curve during charging. During discharging, what we can write? So let me take the same equation, same axis, time axis. This is the charge. So during discharging here, the initial time when t is equal to 0, if you substitute t is equal to 0, e power 0 is equal to 1, q will be q naught. So I am not substituting there, directly I am taking, if t is equal to 0, 0 by something is 0, e power 0 is equal to 1. So this will become 1, so q will become q naught. So when t is equal to 0, q will become q naught. So after one time period, after 2 time constants, 3 time constant and so on, the curve will be like this. Similar to the current curve while charging. This is the discharging charge during discharging. Similarly, if you substitute that equation in this one, you will get the current also. But here we are interested only with the charging, charge based on the capacitor, present on the capacitor. When the time is equal to 1 time constant, the charge on the capacitor will be reduced to 0.37 Q naught. That means here actually I have to remove this one. This is the main charge through the capacitor. While charging, within 1 time period, the charge increased to 63% of the main charge or maximum charge. But while decreasing within the same time period, one time period, charge decreases to 37% of the main charge or maximum charge. That means charge increases rapidly while charging, but the charge decreases rapidly while discharging. That means this will reach 63%, but this will reach 37%. Whether it is charging or discharging within one time period, here charge is more, that is 63% of the maximum charge, while discharging also initially the decay is fast. So decay is fast in discharging and growth is fast while charging, only in the initial stages. After that growth is slow. Here decay also slow in this discharging capacitor. During charging capacitor, the charge at any time is given by this equation, and the current at any time is given by I naught e power minus t by RC. Now, during discharge, the charge at any time is given by Q naught e power minus t by RC. Now, what is the voltage across capacitor during charging a capacitor? This voltage V is equal to Q by C. Now, V is equal to what is Q? So, this can be written as Q naught 1 minus e power t by CR by C. So, voltage is equal. This is the maximum charge and this is the capacitor which is given by EMF of the cell that we are connecting 1 minus C by T by CR. So, this is the voltage across the capacitor at any time. But what is the voltage across resistor at any time? So, we can write V across resistor is given by I into R. VR is equal, during charging current is given by I naught e power minus t by RC. We can write I naught e power minus t by RC into R. So, voltage across resistance is given by I naught is the maximum EMF by maximum resistance, that is E by R into e power minus t by CR into R. This R and R get cancelled. Voltage across resistance is given by e power minus t by CR. So, this is the voltage across the resistor at any time. In this concept, when t is equal to 0, say when t is equal to, if t is equal to 0, e power 0 is 1, the charge will be 0. That means there is no charge on this capacitor. So, current flows through this one and slowly this will be charged. Whenever t is 0, charge on the capacitor is 0. So, it allows the charge to pass through this one. So, we can write capacitor act as a conducting wire there. So, if you want to find out the current passing to this one, when t is equal to 0, current will be different. When t is equal to CR, current will be different. That's why initially when the time is 0, you consider capacitor as a conducting wire. Then if you want to find out the current passing to this one when t is equal to 0, yet t is equal to 0, I is equal to E by R only. That means you replace this capacitor with a conducting wire, a wire which is having no resistance at all. So, then current will become E by R only. So, this is the initial current through a CR circuit. The initial current is always maximum, which we call it as this as a I naught. Now, if time is equal to infinity, that means at a large time, after so many time constants, this in circuit we wrote CR, 2CR, 3CR, 4CR and some up to NCR. When time is too large, then what happens? The charge on the capacitor will become Q naught. Here if you substitute this one, when t is equal to infinite, e power infinity will become, this will become 0. So, Q will become Q naught. So, the charge on the capacitor will become Q naught. Once a capacitor is fully charged, when a capacitor is fully charged, then the capacitor is said to be in steady state. So, it is said to be steady state. So in steady state what happens, once it is completely charged, then it will not allow any amount of charge to pass through it. So it will not allow the current to pass through this one. Then the capacitor acts as a broken wire. So this is only at a steady state. So whenever a problem is given, please see whether the time is 0 or time is equal to 1 time constant, time is equal to 2 time constant, or time is equal to infinity. Why? Because at different times the charge or the current through the circuit will be different. But if you take an ordinary circuit R without capacitor, let us say E, the current through this one will be E by R only always at any time, because same quantity of current will pass through the circuit continuously. But in CR circuit, current also depends upon the time. So capacitor, when it is reaches the steady state, capacitor does not allow charge to pass through it. So it acts as, capacitor acts as broken wire in the circuit. Now we will see one or two problems how to solve this one, how to remember this one. This problem, this is a CR circuit and one more is connected in series parallel to this one, and this is the EMF of the battery. Now initially when time is 0, here when time is 0, capacitor acts as a conducting wire. So replace the capacitor and just join a wire here. Then these two resistors are said to be in parallel. So R1 and R2 are parallel. So effective resistance will be R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So what is the current flowing through this circuit? E by R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. This is the current passing through the circuit initially when the, let us say if you keep a key here, if the key is just closed. Now when t is equal to infinite, what to do? When t is equal to infinity, the capacitor is said to be fully charged and it is in steady state and it is act as a broken circuit. Now this we will draw once again. This circuit can be drawn like this, because here it is a broken circuit. Broken circuit means no charge will pass through this branch or no current to pass through this branch. Why? Because when it is completely charged, a capacitor never allows the direct current to pass through it. So DC current. So as it is a DC source, it will not allow the current to pass through this, not only the capacitor, even in that complete branch. Now this branch is neglected, should be neglected or removed from this one. Now what is the current here? Current will become E by R1 only. We will solve one more problem based on this concept. So this is a capacitor, cell of potential V connected to a capacitor C here. This is the resistance R. So this is the given circuit. Now I want to find out the charge at any time passing through the capacitor, current through this one, and let us say this is R, this is R, this is R. To find out, first of all we need to find out the time constant of the CR circuit. So how to find time constant of the CR circuit? To find the time constant of a CR circuit, finding tau, first what we have to do, there are some simple points. First of all, remove the capacitor in the circuit and connect it with a wire. Number 2, so I am going to remove this capacitor, so I am going to connect this with a straight wire. Now find R equivalent across the terminals of this capacitor, across terminals of capacitor. But we may have doubt, what about this battery? So replace battery with a wire. So I am going to redraw this diagram here to find out the time constant here. I am going to remove this capacitor and I am going to replace this battery with a straight wire. These are the two terminals. Why? Because I am going to find out the equivalent resistance across terminals of the capacitor only. So remove this capacitor, then you will get 2 points here, and this is one more resistor. This is R, this is R, this is R. Now across these terminals find the equivalent resistance. These two are parallel, so this will become R by 2. For this is series. So total R equivalent in this case is R by 2 plus R, which is equal to 3R by 2. So this is the total resistance of this circuit. Now once you get this value, we know that the time constant is the product of capacitance and equivalent resistance. This capacitance is C because only one capacitor is there here. Now into 3R by 2. So answer 3RC by 2. This is the time constant of this one. So after finding the time constant, now let me find out the charge passing through this capacitor. Charge on the capacitor is given by, we have this formula, Q is equal to Q naught. Q is equal to Q naught 1 minus T by tau. Actually this is not CR. If there is only one capacitor, one resistor, then this will be C into R. But if there are multiple resistors or multiple capacitors, we have to find out the time constant of the circuit, where we got it as 3R by C. So Q will be equal to Q naught into 1 minus e power minus T by T is equal to 3RC by 2. So this is the charge flowing through this capacitor at a given time. Now if you substitute time, given time, if it is 1 second, 1 millisecond, 4 microseconds, what will be, if you substitute this value, and we can find out the charge at any time, at a given time. Now how to find out the current that is passing through this resistor? Or first of all, let me find out at a infinite time, at a steady state, let us say at a steady state. Steady state means the capacitor is completely charged. And the capacitor is completely charged here. Now what happens? This capacitor never allows the charge or current to pass through that branch in which the capacitor is present. Now from this, current will come from this cell, it passes through this one, and no current will pass through this one. In this branch the current will be 0. So this will be shorted here. Now only we have to consider only this path. So how to find the current passing through this circuit now? At a steady state, what is the current through this one? The current through this one is given by I is equal to the potential V by, we should not consider this resistor here, we have to consider only these two resistors, and these two are said to be connected in series now. Why? Because this is a short circuit now, we should not consider this path. So current is passing only through this one, R plus R, this will become 2R. So current passing through the circuit will be 2R. So what is the voltage drop across these 2 points? This is A, this is B. So voltage drop is given by, voltage across this between A and B is given by I into resistance in that branch. I is equal to V by 2R into R. So this is half of the voltage of the cell. That means total voltage here, this will be dropped by V by 2, remaining V by 2 will be dropped here. If the voltage across this branch is equal to V by 2, even though no current is passing to this one, the voltage across this combination, as these two are parallel, and the voltage, these two will be same at a steady state only. So at a steady state, what is voltage across this capacitor? The capacitor voltage is also equal to V by 2, because these two are parallel. This is short circuit, directly we are connecting with the wire. Now what is the charge here? So charge Q naught is equal to C into V naught. This is the maximum charge, because I am finding charge at a steady state, that is at a large time. So the maximum charge is called capacitance to potential across the capacitor, which is going to be C into V by 2. So this is CV by 2. So this is the maximum charge that is present on the capacitor plates at infinite time or at a steady state. This is steady state. Let us say the current coming from the battery is I, and the currents are I1 and I2. So this is before reaching the steady state. So what is the charge that is flowing before reaching steady state? This is the charge that is flowing before reaching the steady state. So we can write this equation as Q is equal to Q naught into 1 minus e power minus 2t by 3RC. But what is Q naught here? Q naught is equal to CV by 2. So I can write Q is equal to CV by 2 into 1 minus 2t by 3RC. So this is the charge on the capacitor. If you know the charge, the rate of flow of charge is the current I1. So how to find I1 here? To find out I1, I am going to write I1 is given by the rate at which the charge is changing in the capacitor before reaching the steady state. So after reaching steady state, Q will be Q naught is equal to CV by 2. I am substituting that value here. So this dq by dt is equal to d by dt of Q, and Q is equal to CV by 2 1 minus e power minus 2t by 3RC. So now you can write what are the constant, bring them outside as it is a differentiation. Capacity of the capacitor is constant, potential of the battery constant by 2 constant. Now you have to differentiate only this 1 minus e power minus 2 by CR. So d by dt of 1 minus e power minus 2t by 3RC. Now this will become CV by 2, d by dt of 1 is 0 minus d by dt of e power minus 2t by CR will become e power minus 2t by 3CR into, now differentiate this with respect to time, you will get minus 2 by 3RC. You can see this minus of minus will become plus. Now what is the current that is passing through this capacitor or passing through this resistor connected here? So I am going to find it. So this I1 will become CV by 2, this minus of minus will become plus 2 by 3RC into e power minus 2t by 3CR. You can cancel, this is C and C here and 2 and 2 here. The current that is passing through this R is given by total voltage by 3R into e power minus 2t by 3CR. So this is I1. But how to find I2? If you know I1, by applying Kirchhoff voltage law here, you can find out I2, and finally how to find I means this is the sum of I1 plus I2. So by applying Kirchhoff voltage law for this path, you know this I1 value, and we have to find out I2, and this is how we can find out I2, and we can find I1 plus I2 later. This is a problem. Find potential difference across A and B and also the current through each branch. You can see this one connected in parallel. So the current coming from the positive terminal, let us say this is I1. The current from this second cell is I2. Current from the third cell is I3. So the total current will be I1 plus I2 plus I3. So what is the E equivalent here? Equivalent EMF of this complete combination is given by, we can write I equivalent into R equivalent. So this will be given as I equivalent is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 into this R equivalent can be written as 1 by R equivalent also, when it goes to this will R equivalent only. But what is the current from the first cell? This is I1 is equal to E1 by R1. So we can write this as E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 plus E3 by R3 by, this will be 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So after finding this one, now substitute the known values here. E1 is equal to 3, R1 is equal to 1, this E2 is equal to 2, R1 is equal to 1, E3 is equal to 1, R1 is 1 by 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 by 1. So this will be 3 plus 2 plus 1, 6 by 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. This is 2 volts. So this is the next equivalent EMF in this between this combination. When there is no current, this EMF will be equal to the potential difference. When the current is flowing, the potential difference between A and B is given by this EMF only, which is equal to 2 volts. Now, if you take the first branch, for the first branch, for this, we can write E is equal to V plus I1 R1. So we know this V value, I need this I1 value. So E1 minus V is equal to I1 R1. I1 is equal to E1 minus V by R1. So what is the current through the first branch? This will become E1 is 3. Voltage across this branch, because across any branch voltage is 2 only, just now we found this one, by R1 is equal to 1. So this is 1 ampere. Similarly, if you want to find out E2, this is U2 minus V by R2. This is 2 minus 2 by R2 is equal to 1. 0 by something is 0. So no current is passing through the second branch. So now the I3 will become E3 minus V by R3. This is 1 minus 2 by R3 is equal to 1. This is minus 1. So whatever the current that is coming here is passing through this one. It is flowing like this. This current will be 0. Problem. They are asking us to find out the potential difference between M and N. Already I solved a similar model, but some students were confusing here. See, we can solve this problem in 2 methods. So what is the first method here? In the first method, I am going to write the potential at this point. I am taking it as Vm. The potential at this point is Vn. As the current is flowing from M to N, so I am going to take the potential here Vm minus the drops, everything drop if you consider. Finally, I will reach this point with the potential Vn. So I am going to write Vm. After that, 0.4 amperes of current is passing through 6 ohms. So 6 into 0.4 will be 6 4 24, 2.4. So out of Vm, 2.4 drop volts will be dropped here. So this will be minus 0.4 into 6. This is a drop. After that, the same 0.4 amperes current will pass through this one, and the cell has internal resistance of 1 ohm. So there also there will be some potential drop. So current into resistance, this will be 0.4 into 1. This is the drop inside that cell. Then this current is reaching this point. While reaching this point, it is reaching the positive terminal here. So the potential increases by 6 volts here. So this is the increase in potential. After that, 0.4 amperes current is passing through this one. Here also there is some drop, 0.4 into 2 minus 0.4 into 2. After that, once again this 0.4 current passing through 1 ohm. So that is also drop, 0.4 into 1. Then it is jumping to positive terminal. So there is a gain in the potential which is 4, and this is equal to Vn. And finally, after reaching that point, the current will be left with this potential. We are writing it as Vn. Now let me simplify this equation. Vm minus 2.4 minus 0.4 plus 6 minus 0.8 minus 0.4 plus 4 equal to potential at point N. You can see these are only the positive values here. So Vm minus 2.4 plus 0.4, 2.8, 2.8 plus 0.8 to 3.6, this 0.4. So 3.6 means 4, this will be, so this is minus 4, plus 6 from here and plus 4 that side, this will become Vn, plus 4 minus 4 get cancelled. Vm minus this plus 6 is equal to Vn. So if you rearrange this one, Vm minus Vn is equal to minus 6 volts. So this is how we can use this method while calculating the potential difference between M and N. In second method, I am going to use Kirchhoff voltage law. So while using the Kirchhoff voltage law, what I am going to do, students please remember, either you used this method or use that Kirchhoff law method. But some students, while using these two methods, they are confusing there. So Kirchhoff voltage law can be applied only if the circuit is a closed one. But here this is for open circuit. So here, without connecting the circuit, I used this one, open circuit method. Now, what is this closed circuit method? So now, let me combine this point M and N together. So if you join this wire with this one with a wire which is having no resistance at all. Now this diagram can be drawn like this. So this is M and this point will be N. Now current is passing like this. So if you join these two, current is passing from N to M. So it is going from M to N and then it is passing here. So this is 6 ohms, this is 6 volts and 1 ohm, this is 2 ohms, this is 4 volts and 1 ohm. Now this is point M, this is point N. When I combine this M and N, current is flowing from N to M. So what we have to assume that N is at high potential, M is at low potential. So what is the potential difference between these 2 points? Potential at N minus potential at M. This is there is some drop here. The drop we are finding here, Vn minus Vm. Plus, now you choose one path to apply the Kirchhoff voltage law here. So I am choosing this path. This is the path I am taking here. So I am moving from this point to this point. Current also moving in the same direction. So if the current is flowing in the direction of motion in a closed path, the drop will be positive only. So here I am first finding potential drop here, potential drop here, potential drop, all the drops equal to algebraic sum of the electromotive forces of the circuit in this closed path. So what I am going to write here, 0.4 amperes current is flowing like this, and I am also moving in the same direction. As these two are in the same direction, the drop will be positive. So I am taking the positive drop here, 0.4 into 6. But here I wrote this as minus because here the circuit was not closed. This is an open circuit method. This is closed circuit method. So here this is the drop, and the same current is passing 0.4 through this one. So this is also positive drop only, 0.4 into 1. So I am finding the potential drops first. Then here also 0.4 amperes current is passing through 2 amperes. So 0.4 into 2, one more drop. And one more drop will be through this 1 ohm resistance, 0.4 into 1. These are all the potential drop across this closed path. The algebraic sum of the potential drop across these resistors in this closed path must be equal to the sum of the EMF of this circuit. Let us say this is equal to E1, this is equal to E2. So this is equal to E1 plus E2. So now let me write this as Vn, potential at N, potential at M, plus this will be 2.4, this will be 0.4, this will be 0.8, this will be 0.4, which is equal to what is the electromotive force? Once again, when we are moving from this point to this point in the clockwise direction, so let me take only the EMFs. As I am jumping to positive terminal, EMF will be positive, this will be 6. Here also I am jumping to positive terminal, finally I am reaching positive. That means after jumping I am getting positive potential. So this is also plus 4. Now we can write Vn minus Vm plus 2.4, 2.8, 3.6, this will be 4, is equal to 6 plus 4. 4 and 4 get cancelled. So Vn minus Vm is equal to 6. So this is the potential difference between N and M. But here I got minus 6, there I got plus 6. But remember students, this is Vm minus Vn, that is Vn minus Vm. If you multiply with the minus on both sides, you will get the same result here. Multiply with the minus, we will get Vm minus Vn is equal minus 6 only. So this result never changes, but the students has to follow either this method or that method. But if you combine these two methods, you will get a different value. So whichever is useful, whichever is easy for you, you have to follow that method. But my suggestion is always better to use this closed circuit method. But some students are feeling that this method is easier than that one, then you can go for this method. But my suggestion is to remember only one method to solve this type of problems.